I'm sorry.
That's a damn shame, seeing I witnessed the whole bloody thing.
I'm just gonna have to very quickly check we got nothing else.
Could have said that we could have. Wish I'd known that.
Oh my.
Hi there.
How are you?
Can I do a quick search if that's okay?
Oh, I've just been to upstairs.
Should we turn our radios off?
I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, we should probably just keep them on just in case.
Yeah.
And we can gossip.
There you go. Thank you so much for your cooperation.
Nothing happened. Just smooth as hell.
Were they clean?
Sorry.
Yes, hello.
That's a lot of bare asses and the painting on the ceiling.
Okay,
Stand
well,
up.
I should be able to do this. I should think so. Okay.
Glad I didn't have to ask for that.
Mayor,
Hello.
just wondering if you could, we could possibly exchange phone details. There's something I need to talk
Why are
about.
you the one that would have noticed that?
Sorry, I'm like, bit it.
I mean, happenstance is dead.
In very weird ways.
Do I just walk out?
All good.
Hello.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
one.
all right.
Hello, can I ask
Thank you very much.
deep more in
Evening.
It's good to know you're a mayor of the people.
Up here, please.
You're not family.
Hey, what, Jimmy?
I'm okay,
Hello.
thank
How's it going? Queen?
What?
Stand up in the corner.
This'll just have to
Already
do.
had one,
I can't be
yeah,
bothered doing
already.
it again.
I'm
slightly on the edge.
Made me see through my own back, so I had to sit like this.
Just push me like a piece of trash.
Very.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, no, this is sitting weird. I'm gonna have to do it again.
Courtroom, mate.
Oh, you try to sit down, but you managed
It's fucking courtroom, mate.
Mind
Go,
jumping
go,
over it.
be
It took
quiet.
so long to sit down.
I think
It's rather tragic, actually.
I think things are going to be okay.
quiet.
It's better. It's better like it.
Did you search this
No,
one?
I've not paid anybody off ever.
You
No,
searched
no.
me.
Well, I got best lawyer in the city.
Okay,
look.
here
Yellow
for the
man.
chat. 1 second.
Of course. Fine then. What is happening? Are you talking to me?
There we go.
Oh no, sorry.
It's
I
in
was
the
asking
bag.
if you'd
That'll
been
do.
because I didn't want to invade it.
Yeah,
sorry,
again
boy.
if you hadn't.
You searched me.
I've slightly taken up your space, but
Please, sorry.
it's fine.
That's good.
Hey, by the way, what did
As
this
long as
guy
you're fine.
do?
Yeah, of course.
Because you two look cozy.
Turned a man into mush?
Bendy really needs to be.
Bloody hell. Probably guilty then, eh?
Somebody needs to tell him.
What were you for again?
Should I shout to tell him?
Oh, right, yeah.
Listen, Levi.
Hmm.
Levi.
Humble Faucet's here.
Levi.
Yeah, they must be working the
When
trial.
Get the buzzers to vote.
How's it the other way?
That sounds
Picked up Mike off the side of the road and he was like, oh, thanks for words.
Judy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Didn't realise it was you.
Is Judge Judy not coming?
No,
Hello.
Judge Judy and Executioner,
that's
innit?
alright.
Yeah, I've seen that film.
Danny, you just give a
Oh,
thumbs
I think I
This,
went
Sylvester
more on your
Stallone's in it,
space.
isn't
Hold
it?
on.
Is it thumbs up
Dixon
if we want him to
understood that
die, or
reference.
thumbs up if we want him to not die?
Well, it depends, because like it's a common like theory that in ancient Rome in the gladiatorial arenas, because of the movie Gladiator, thumbs up is they survive, but thumbs up is they've fought honourably and deserve to die a death honourably in the arena.
So what is it? Just so he dies?
I don't know. You don't do it.
I'll ask the police officer. Officer, you
can probably have a quick time out. I can talk to the judge if you want.
How do we vote for him?
You can ask for a recess.
No one's gonna die. Okay, what's the point?
Just don't use the radio again. And be fine.
That's more comfortable.
Yeah, it's a bit less awkward.
I think I've ever
Glad
seen
to try
so
not
many
chip the chairs
people at
away.
the same time.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It's the rare.
So we vote with our phones.
I've heard the city's quite busy this evening.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of stuff
Alright,
happened
okay.
today.
I'm not quite
Seems
getting it,
so.
but it's fine.
Sorry,
Space
sorry
is
there.
okay.
Oh no, Levi, you're in the middle, mate.
Oh, I'm not fitting through there, am I?
Oh dear, I'm gonna have to get up again.
Sorry.
Sorry, just trying to get comfortable.
Do you want me to move up a little bit so you can sort of sit between the two?
There you go.
Oh, can you not get out now?
Okay. Levi, are you
Wait, hold
sniffing
on,
me?
don't say that.
What shampoo do you use?
L'Oreal, because
I'll
of
just
what
have to do. I'll give your space a bit.
All rise for the honorable judge star.
Oh god.
Oh, wait, do we have to? Alright.
What the fuck are you on
It took me
about?
so long to get a seat.
You've not sit yet.
You did, to be fair.
They're stuck here.
Dina!
There you are.
Excuse me.
Right, I come out, you go in.
I mean, it's professional, isn't it?
I gritted by accident.
It's not Dina.
I don't know how.
But now I'm sitting on the
Should we be
You
able
don't
to
know how
hear
what?
the judge?
My legs.
You don't know how legs?
Had accident, can't remember.
Think about
That works.
I'm going to bring a start to the trial of Quiet City versus James Tenpenny regarding an extended series of events. I would like to remind everyone here today to act respectfully and as expected of the court. Otherwise, I have been assured that the Quiet City PD have made all efforts to make sure that
I can't hear shit.
detain any individual unwilling to do so.
People are having trouble hearing.
We will follow our traditional court proceedings. We will
Dina?
hear opening statements. We will then have witnesses and evidence brought to light.
Can't hear you that well.
We will do everything we can to ascertain the facts and reach justice.
Shh, Dina. Quiet.
I'd like to remind anyone who is speaking to the court to ensure their voices are raised and that we conduct ourselves with the highest of respect as expected of the courtroom. The initial part of these proceedings will be opening statements. This will provide an overview of facts.
Oh god, okay.
And as part of these events, the prosecution will be aiming to establish that beyond all reasonable doubt, James Tenpenny has been guilty of the charges which have been brought today. I would like to invite District Attorney Valentine to make his initial opening statement.
So sorry.
Good evening, Your Honour, members of the public. I'm District Attorney Reid Valentine, representing the state of Quiet City.
It's good to see you
and
again,
serving
Dana. It's good to see
prosecutor
you
on
again.
this very important case. We aim to prove that over their career as captain of the QCPD, Mr. Tenpenny used his position of power for corruption, manipulation and deceit, which led to the death by his own hands of a beloved and well-respected citizen, Mr. Arthur Trout. At the conclusion of this case, and after you have heard all of the evidence, I am confident that you will return a guilty verdict.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. I would now invite the defendant's defence counsel, Mr. David Trout, on behalf of Mr. Tenpenny, to make his opening statement.
Arthur's son?
Hello there. I did write out an opening statement, but I left my briefcase at home, so I'll give me a second. What should I say? Jimmy Tenpenny, James, is an upstanding citizen of Quiet City. During his tenure as Chief of Police, Mr. Tenpenny helped to establish the finest police force this city's ever seen. Under Mr. Tenpenny's direction, Quiet City almost immediately changed the city from the crime-riddled cesspool it once was into a beautiful utopia of lawful peace and love. Due to Mr. Tenpenny's care and nurture, a number of Mr. Tenpenny's reports have since blossomed into beautiful flowers of justice. And without Mr. Tenpenny's experienced watering can of encouragement, The rebel badge of vigilantes serving the city could have withered like weeds in a garden of crime. Since the unfair dismissal of Mr. Tenpenny related to the unfortunate accident we will be discussing today, Mr. Tenpenny has suffered a number of emotional, financial and physical damages due to the failures of both the EMS, Mr. 𝚃𝚒𝚒𝚒, the organiser of the fight, and indeed the legal system of this city itself. After being recklessly unsheathed from the security and safety of his job, fearing for his life, Mr. Tenpenny was forced to uproot his entire life at great personal expense and move to the desolate hellhole that is 𝚃𝚒𝚒𝚗𝚡 Bay, a fate worse than death for many. On the topic of death, the death of Arthur Trout, also to some as Dad, is a widely felt tragedy to 𝚀𝚒𝚒𝚎𝚗𝚡. We, the defence, believe that this tragedy could have been avoided entirely and that Jimmy Tenpenny is not guilty of committing any of the charges he is accused of today. I fucked it up at the end. Right, bye for now.
Thank you, Mr. Trout. Before we begin calling witnesses, can I ask Mr. Valentine to read the charges which are being brought today? Mr. Valentine?
Oh, apologies.
Okay.
The charges brought to forward today are manslaughter, corruption of public duty, and escape.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. You are now able to call your first witness if you wish.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Could I call Miss Susie Crumblebottom to the stand, please?
Yes, the court would invite one Susie Crumplebottom to take her place on the stand.
Do you want a lozenge?
Hello?
Miss Crumplebottom, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you 𝚀𝚒𝚒𝚡𝚗𝚒?
I do.
Mr. Valentine, you may begin.
Miss Crumblebottom, can you briefly recount the events that led to the death of Mr. Arthur Trout?
Right, where do you want me to start from exactly? When I got there, or?
Yes, from the moment you got there, please.
Let's go.
Right, well, my memory's a little bit hazy. It's been a while, but so we got there with Richard Deepmore, and we were both going to fight on the rooftop. We had different opponents, so we got there and we were just having a nice time. And then Tenpenny came down in a helicopter. It was just a really, really great entrance. Looked great in the little red robe and shoes. And then he said something about being a natural man. Now I'm not sure what that meant, but he looked natural to me, I guess. And then I had my fight with Ali. Is it Ali Didas? But she cheated actually. That really, you know what? That really pissed me off because I've been training for that fight for so long, and she just got in like a sucker punch before Keith had even counted down. But then I think quite a lot of the people in this room were there actually, and probably witnessed me beat the shit out of her twice. So I am the reigning champion, given Arthur's dead, and Tenpenny's obviously, well, Tenpenny's here. What did you need anything else?
Yes, could you recount what you witnessed at the fight between Mr. Tenpenny and Mr. Trout?
All right, yeah, sorry. So yeah, when I saw Arthur just before that fight, actually, so I saw him initially when he came onto the rooftop, and he seemed all right. And then before the fight, he started to look a bit woozy actually, and he had to sit down for a bit. I'm not sure what was wrong with him, but he just had to sit on the floor because he wasn't feeling too great. So didn't think much of it because he was old as fuck, you know. surprised they let him fight, if I'm honest. But anyway, then Keith obviously spoke to them both, and then they started the fight. Tenpenny, I think he missed the punch originally. That was a bit embarrassing actually. But then he got him right in the chest. He got him right in the chest, and he just like crumpled to the floor. So yeah, and he was pretty much dead after that. I think he shit himself as well.
How would you describe Mr. Tenpenny's public persona post? I was just
texting you.
Post fight.
Meaning after it.
Yeah, I'm just checking. You said post.
Yeah.
So post means after the fight.
Yep. So how's he reacting to the public?
Well, he looked like he fucking shit himself as well. To be honest, he was panicking a bit. I don't think he meant to do what he did. You know, I'm not saying he murdered Arthur, but he was obviously involved in some way, I guess. Sorry, I'm panicking a bit now.
That's okay.
Just getting flashbacks.
No worries. Do you recall any of Mr. Tenpenny's?
Open up the upstairs gallery so people can hear.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I just saw him cowering in a corner, and yeah, I was asked to actually go over and console him a bit, and he was just a bit. Yeah, he's like a little boy, just frightened. I felt a bit sorry for him.
Finished?
Yes, I think so.
Thank you. Just checking. Make sure you say everything.
Thank you.
We have open
Do you remember any of Mr. Tenpenny's tweets after the fight?
I remember that he was tweeting a bit. You know, I was tweeting as well. As I say, I won a fight. To be honest, it was a bit annoying because that was my first fight that I'd won, and I started celebrating on Twitter, and no one seemed to give a shit. They were saying actually it wasn't the time. But have you seen this medal that I've got on? Right? Wouldn't you want to show it off?
Can you recall what Mr. Tenpenny's tweets were about?
Oh, sorry. No, not really. I think he was just celebrating his win, I guess.
So he was celebratory in his tweets.
There was some remorse there.
In your interview with the QCPD, do you remember mentioning what the tweet said?
No, you're gonna have to remind me.
So do you remember when mentioning words champ?
Yeah, that was a good tweet. I like that one.
Okay. When you took part in the fight, you were employed by QCPD, yes?
Okay, good.
Yep, I was the force manager.
Check.
And how did Mr. Tenpenny inform you of the taking place?
The fight taking place?
Yes, the Fight Club tournament.
I don't think he did. I think Keith approached me about it.
Okay.
I think originally he was trying to arrange for me to fight. Oh.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I please ask members of the public to refrain from taking photographs on their mobile devices during a court case? You've been allowed into the viewing gallery for the opportunity to hear the case. You're not to interrupt or take photographs. Apologies, please continue.
It's probably because of the medal. They probably just want to get a picture of it.
Susie.
I don't know where I was now. What was I saying?
We were talking about how you took part in a fight and if Mr. Tenpenny had mentioned it at the QCPD.
So I think, yeah, I originally came from Keith. I think Keith wanted me to fight Tenpenny originally, but then I found another opponent instead. So Tenpenny didn't introduce me to the tournament, if that's what you're implying.
No, I'm just wondering if it was mentioned inside the QCPD.
Yeah,
the things were not your fault, and it was moaning Minnie upstairs.
But not to you directly.
Probably not, no.
But appreciate you.
Well, you're at the QCPD. What was the working environment like?
Well, you know, I had my issues. I mean, let's go into all this. I think we'll be here all day if I start going into all the issues at QCPD.
I don't need the details. I just try to establish some facts. So what it is if we won't bring up the past. However, isn't it correct that during Mr. Tenpenny's time operating QCPD, you were in the process of lodging formal complaints against members of staff under his order?
Yeah, and they're still employed now, just so you know. But you know what? I've forgiven them.
While at QCPD, did Mr. Tenpenny ever provide you with any weapons of any sort from the armoury?
No. I think he might have let me have a nightstick at one point, but that was short-lived.
So at no point you were given a taser?
No, I don't believe so.
You're under oath?
I know, I'm not lying.
Okay.
From what I recall, I don't remember Tenpenny giving me a taser.
When Mr. Tenpenny was asked to step down from office, you were assigned to be his personal care, yes?
His bodyguard, yes. I think that was you that actually put
I
that in
did
place.
put you in place. Can you describe the events which took place while you were watching over Mr. Tenpenny?
So I believe... Well, thanks for that, by the way, because I had to third wheel a couple of dates with Brenda and Tenpenny, and that was the most awkward thing ever. So cheers for that, Reed. Sorry, Judge.
Can I please remind it is an asked and answered situation? If you can answer the questions that are asked and not use this as a chance for personal jibes.
Sorry. Yeah, Brenda and Tenpenny went on a couple of dates.
Was there any stipulations to where Mr. Tenpenny could or could not go?
I can't remember.
Okay, I'm up here. I'll have a word with him now.
Was Mr. Tenpenny asked to stay away from the QCPD?
Probably, yeah.
And do you remember Mr. Tenpenny escaping your protection and making his way back to the QCPD?
No, I don't recall that. But at the same time, to be fair to Tenpenny, I did leave him unsupervised after a certain point because I don't get paid enough for that shit.
And your witness testimony to Mr. Trout, when you're talking about you were taking over the title because his father passed and Tenpenny was being investigated, you mentioned Tenpenny being on the run. Can you explain what you meant by that? Elaborate, please.
I don't think I did say that, did I? Who said that?
You did, and it's in recorded evidence in the docket.
Oh,
so,
Oh, well, I guess I did say it then. What was the question?
Could you elaborate on what you meant by Tenpenny being on the run?
Well, I think he panicked. I don't know, a lot of people were after him. Straight after that fight, 𝚘𝚒𝚘𝚎𝚗𝚡 was threatening to kill him. It was intense. I don't blame him. His life was in danger. No one seemed to give a shit.
That's all for now.
Thank
like
you,
in any other
Mr.
comment section.
Sorry, this is an asked and answered situation.
No additional information.
That's why you're addressing me directly.
Sorry.
Mr. Trout, would you like the opportunity to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, if I may.
Yeah, please step forward.
Hello, Susie.
All right, Davey.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that you mentioned there that I'd like to ask you about.
Yeah.
So,
there's cells downstairs.
The first one was during this fight with an 𝚘𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑𝚑 fight.
Yeah, pissed me right off.
Objection, relevance.
That is a crime. Alidina should be behind that stand right now.
Your grounds, sorry, Mr. Valentine.
We're here about Tenpenny, not Aladidas.
Sustained.
Does that
Can
mean
I?
that
Can I?
That means that the objection is sustained. You may choose to rephrase the question, but I sustain Mr. Valentine's objection.
Okay. You've just alluded to Ellie-Grace cheating during this fight, which to me signifies that there may have been other procedures that weren't in place at the fight. Is there anything else that you could talk about in regards to that?
Yeah, so Keith wasn't the best. I mean, to be fair, it's a big event to put on by yourself, isn't it? Props to Keith for that. But he wasn't the best at making sure all the health and safety procedures were in place. So, for example, I didn't get a medical examination before my fight. I didn't even pay any money to fight.
Pellic, just so you know, downstairs
so
there are some cells if it's required.
I see. Were you the only person who didn't receive medical treatment at the event?
I didn't see anyone else get examined at the time.
I see. And you said that Tenpenny was on the run in this interview. Could you clarify a little more about some of the threats that were made to him? Any of the danger that he faced?
Threatened to kick his head in. I mean, Danny Digital over here, the one on the right, going to be on the witness stand shortly, I think. He's just been slagging Tenpenny off here, actually. So even now, after all this time's passed,
Miss Crumplebottom, please answer the questions as
I am answering the question. Like, that's a good example. That's a very recent example. You know.
Okay. And you mentioned that Tenpenny took a nightstick away from you. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did.
Is there any other examples you can think of Mr. Tenpenny treating criminal matters in a responsible manner?
Well, I'm just trying to think. To be fair, he kind of gave me a daily bollocking for stuff that I did, but yeah, he dealt with criminals sometimes to the best of his ability at times.
Okay,
I mean,
fantastic.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about specific crimes.
I don't think that's relevant right now. However, I'd like to ask you one final question, which was about the state of Arthur Dad. You mentioned that he was feeling woozy and he had to sit down during the fight.
Yeah, he wasn't well.
So, what do you believe was the nature of his unwellness?
Objection. Not a medical professional.
I mean,
Is it on the grounds of relevance, Mr. Valentine?
It's not factual. She's not a medical professional, so she can't say.
I know, but I could say if he's like drunk or something, couldn't I? I could say what symptoms he seems to have.
Are you a lawyer, Miss Crumplebottom, or are you presenting in this case?
Apologies.
I would ask that you... Sorry, Miss Trout. I would ask that you engage yourself in a respectful manner, Miss Crumplebottom. Otherwise, I will hold you in contempt of court, and I don't think I need to remind you I have a meeting with you tomorrow.
Okay, sorry, but do you know if I need to say something? Do I put my hand up?
No, you don't.
Okay, may I rephrase the question?
If you choose to.
Did you see Mr. Trout under the Mr. Arthur Trout, not me, for fuck's sake? Did you see Mr. Trout under the influence of any kind of alcohol or narcotics that may have caused him to be laying on the floor, sitting down on the floor, as you say, and feeling woozy?
Yeah, I mean, in my professional medical opinion, he did seem to be under the...
For fuck's sake,
Susie, no. Okay, no further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Trout. I think it is wise before Miss Crumplebottom finds herself in contempt of court. I would like to strike from the record the reference Miss Crumplebottom made to being a professional medical professional, whatever it was she goddamn said. I am at this point going to be calling a short 5-minute recess. I would request you do not leave the courtroom unless necessary, just due to a technical issue with the microphones, which our technicians are working on, at which point you may be able to rejoin us down in the gallery. I say it will be a short 5-minute recess, upon which time we will be resuming the case.
Oh, lovely stuff.
Could have gone better.
Could have gone a lot worse, to be fair.
We'll get that. It's a helicopter job.
We all bloody need to get up anyway, don't we? So it's just to stretch my legs.
These court cases always make me think about
Let's think about all that then.
what it would be like to be a lawyer.
Fucking hope you got in jail, darling.
No, but
thanks.
I was saying right now, every person at that fight was
I may be less likely to get shot dead from time to time.
lies. That's lies. Everybody got medical checks.
Interesting.
Well, I got shot yesterday, Captain.
Interesting.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be up and about, but it's fine.
Probably not.
I'm on strong painkillers.
Oh, yeah.
Palaver. Palaver.
You need a
Concussion.
Yes.
No, not big, mate.
Got a full medical.
I'm trying to move as much as I can.
Why can I hear
Are you okay, Madam Mayor?
I don't know.
Are you blowing into that microphone
You
again?
want some what?
I want him to rot.